Today's video is brought to you by Beautiful Halo. Thank you so much for sponsoring me, first of all. And if you guys would like some good quality anime merch, you can go to Beautiful Halo, link in the description below. And on your next $49 plus order, you can get 5% off with the code MEME. And if it's $99 plus, you can get 10% off with the same code MEME. MEME. Anywho, roll the intro. Welcome back, guys. This is the King of Weebs here, and this is a new what if. This is what if Naruto had an even more tragic past, but I will just call it what if Naruto had the tragic part 1. And we begin this what if with Naruto actually just being actually accepted by the orphanage, and here a few kind human beings actually allowed Naruto to have some kind of life, and they didn't hate Naruto at all. They didn't think it was his fault that the Hokage and the village got attacked. He was born on that day, so it's kind of unfair, isn't it? And so these two people, this couple actually decided to adopt Naruto, and Naruto was only like 2 by then, and he really didn't know why people hated him, and he didn't even realize people really hated him, but he just lived his life. And once he got adopted, he had a much happier life, especially because he finally felt the warmth of love, and he actually lived with them for at least 2 years until the villagers came to actually find out about all of this, and they got pretty pissed off that some people would actually give Naruto a chance in life. And so they actually, once Naruto was actually outside, he came back pretty late. He was actually trying to make some friends, but of course got bullied. But he came back to see that his home was on fire and everything, and Naruto couldn't do anything, and there were a few people just looking at Naruto. They ran up to him and just beat the fuck out of him. But anywho, after this, Naruto was completely depressed, and the Hokage actually took him in for a few days, and of course he got healed and everything, and then he put back into the orphanage. Naruto, after all of this, not only did he have no friends or anything, he kind of had some people that loved him, but they got killed, and Naruto didn't even have anything to remember them with except for their memories. And they always used to tell Naruto to never give up and to always keep trying. And these two people were actually retired shinobi, and they were actually pretty strong jonins, I'll say S rank, but of course they didn't train him at all. But Naruto, of course, wanted to be just as strong as them. And after their death, Naruto, and of course, since they were retired shinobi, S-rank shinobi, they should have been able to beat them, but of course they didn't realize that they actually got ambushed pretty much. So one of them got stabbed at the back, the stronger one, which was the guy, or if you want the woman to be the stronger one of those two. I'm not going to say which was stronger, but anyway, they were pretty much equal in strength, just that in abilities the guy had a bit more. But anyways, of course, after he got stabbed, the woman tried to protect him and her, but there are a few shinobi there too, jonins and chunins. Of course, not S rank, but still pretty decently strong, and they got killed. But of course, Naruto, who was actually in the orphanage, he distanced himself a lot. He was like, nah, bro, I'm good, and he didn't even try to make friends at this point. And after a while, the orphanage decided to kick him out, and Naruto, even in the orphanage, he used to get bullied. They used to badmouth him and everything, call him names, and Naruto really took this to heart. Of course, Naruto used to be knuckleheaded, tried to make friends and everything, but here, after all of this happened, Naruto realized that he's just a curse, and if he gets close to anyone, they just die or something. And now Naruto is actually 6, and he was actually walking down the village, and he had no money. He was hungry, and he was just sitting on the side on a bench, and then some guy actually came up to him and asked him if he wants to eat something. Of course, he took Naruto to Ichiraku Ramen, and they ate together. The one, he wasn't a shinobi or anything, he was just a random guy who was actually just visiting the village, and saw that Naruto was like this, and he saw how Naruto was just getting neglected and everything, and so he actually helped him out and gave him some food. And in the end, while Naruto was saying goodbye, the guy actually got ambushed right in front of Naruto, beaten the fuck out of, and actually killed. And Naruto saw this with his own eyes, and he had the guy's blood on his face. And then the villagers, the shinobi who actually killed him, came up to him and beat the fuck out of him as well. And Naruto was like, really now realizes that he's actually a curse. He should not get close to anyone, and so from the age of 6 onwards, he isolates himself from everyone and anyone who tries to get close to him. When he actually entered the academy, there were a few people who tried to get close to him, like Shikamaru and Choji. Of course, they didn't hate Naruto, but Naruto didn't want them to die as well. And so he's like, no, I don't want you to die. And so he doesn't actually tell them this, but he just distanced himself. And here, of course, Naruto, who was just on his own at the age of 8, he was actually in the library. He went to the library to actually read a book, because Naruto has nothing better to do. He's not trying to make friends. He's not pulling pranks. He's not trying to get attention, because the more the less popular he is, the better it is, because if anyone gets close to him, in his mind, he thinks that they will just die, but it's not true. The people who actually killed that man, and his two parents, foster parents, actually got a thing sent to prison for life, and some actually got executed, especially for killing a visitor to the village. They got executed, of course, sentenced to death, not executed, but still. Now, after all of this, Naruto
continued his academy life, but of course he didn't really get too far ahead of anyone, especially because he didn't really care. He just wanted to be alone, and while he was actually uh, spending his time alone in the library, of course, he actually came to find a few things about the old Hokages, or the prior Hokages, especially the fourth Hokage. Stories about the fourth Hokage, and the how the third was is basically the strongest man in the world right now, and he's the strongest Kage. But anyways, after this, Naruto finished his book, and while he was heading home, the librarian actually pulled Naruto to him, and Naruto at first he acted like he didn't hear him, but then the librarian actually shouted Naruto's name, and Naruto kind of had to go, and the librarian actually gave Naruto a scroll saying, "I've seen you reading a lot about the Hokages. How about you take the scroll?" And basically, Naruto's like, "Why do you want to give me the scroll?" And the librarian's like, "Oh well, see, I don't really see many aspiring ninjas in the library, and I guess you're the first one I see, so I want to give you this." And that scroll was pretty big. It was no small scroll. Naruto had to carry it home, and once he opened it up, he saw that there are a lot of jutsus and a few that are actually not meant to be learned if you're not a Jonin. For example, the Shadow Clone Jutsu, which Naruto actually got interested in, and he was really happy about this. But of course, he didn't really want to get too close to the librarian, because he doesn't want the librarian to die. Anywho, after this, Naruto, who spends the next 2 years in the library and just on his own learning jutsus from the scroll of that the librarian has given him, he actually becomes pretty strong. But something that he actually picks up on is using swords. Naruto uses 3 swords, but of course he doesn't really keep them on him. He actually keeps them inside scrolls, so he can summon them one by one in case he needs one, in case he needs two, three. Who knows? Anywho, Naruto, of course, is pretty strong. He's actually stronger than most of the academy students, and he's even smarter than most of them. But of course, he still acts dumb. He doesn't really want to get close to anyone. He doesn't even try in school. He fails all the exams. He gets shouted at. He doesn't care. And in the end, Mizuki actually, thought that Naruto would be the one to actually trick to, make him become, his little puppet. So he steals the scroll of sealing for him. But Naruto actually was contemplating in if he should pass the exam and get put in a team, or if he should fail and should just give up. But of course, Naruto has learned a lot from the scroll that the librarian gave him 2 years ago, and so he doesn't really want to, fail it, especially because he's been helped by someone. And he hasn't talked to the librarian too much over the 2 years, but of course the librarian knows that Naruto is, an introvert of course, he's not an introvert originally. He wasn't an introvert originally, but of course, over time, all of the uh, things that happened, of course, turned him into an introvert. Anyway, after this, Naruto actually decides to pass the exam, and Mizuki was completely baffled, and Naruto just walks off with his headband, and here everyone was just looking at him once he walked out of the academy because he had the headband, and they were like, "Oh no, that demon! He was able to pass. God damn it! Who allowed him to become a shinobi?" And Naruto just ignores them and just heads to the library. Naruto wants to thank the librarian, and so once he gets to the library, he actually sees the librarian. He bows down saying thank you, and the librarian is just happy that Naruto passed. And of course, now Naruto spends his time the rest of the day in the library. And at night, when he was actually heading home, he actually hears a lot of commotion, and he was actually as a kid that failed his exam stole the scroll of sealing, and Mizuki made him to do it, and Naruto actually knew the kid from his class, and so he actually went to search for him and actually found him in the forest. Even before Iruka, and once he found him, he told the kid to give the scroll back, and the kid's like, no, I want to become a shinobi too, and Naruto says there are no shortcuts to becoming shinobi. You don't understand, do you? You have to give the scroll back, or you will get punished. You won't be able to escape from the Hokage, will you now? Do you really want to anger the Hokage? And the kid got scared, and basically Naruto gave him a few motivational words that he should keep trying, and one day he'll be able to pass. There's no shortcuts to becoming a ninja. And so the kid actually goes home, and Naruto actually carrying the scroll, walking away. Mitsuki arrives and throws a massive shuriken at him, but then Naruto was actually able to catch this easily and just throw it back at Mizuki. Mizuki had to dodge. He could barely dodge it, but then Naruto already teleported in front of him. Not really teleporting, but he actually body flickered in front of him and kicked him in the face, and then made a few clones which beat the hell out of him. And basically took him to the Hokage with the scroll. And Naruto didn't take any uh, jutsus from the scroll here because he doesn't want to pry and anything. But anyway, the Hokage was really happy that Naruto would actually gave back the scroll, and so he rewarded Naruto with a scroll of five scrolls with how that teach him how to use the five different chakra natures. And the Hokage didn't know which chakra nature Naruto had, and so he gave him all five chakra nature scrolls, and so he could learn one of each in case he has all five. But that's just hoping. But anyway, Naruto takes it and just walks off, and the Hokage wasn't expecting a thank you at all. He knows that Naruto doesn't want to get close to anyone, and he can understand why. After all the things that happened, Naruto must have a mindset of realizing that if he gets close to anyone, he's like a curse or something. And so the Hokage doesn't really want to gain Naruto's business, but of course he doesn't want Naruto to always think like this, and so he actually wants to. He actually told Kakashi.
Anywho, the next morning, Naruto woke up to actually go to the classroom, and he really didn't like his team because Sasuke, one of the most popular guys, and Sakura, one of the most annoying girls, and he didn't really like anyone from his class other than Shikamaru and Choji because he actually didn't mind them. And here, I'm not sure if I should do a ship at all. I don't really want Naruto to, be shipped here. So this might be a shipless wife, but you never know. I might change my mind on the next part. But anyway, of course, now, while Naruto was waiting for his sensei or Jonin team leader, he actually decided to just take a nap. And Sakura was actually asking Naruto a few questions on if he's ever made any friends, and Naruto was just ignoring her, and Sakura was getting pissed off, and so she actually said, there's no way you could have made any friends with that attitude. And basically Naruto then's like, then shut up already. I don't care if I have friends or not. You're annoying. And Sakura got pretty pissed. But anywho, she just badmouthed Naruto, saying that he barely passed, he's not smart at all, and he just got lucky, a fluke. And Naruto's like, yeah, it was a fluke, I should have failed. Anywho, go back to your seat. And basically Sakura just doesn't like Naruto at this point. But anywho, now, of course, Kakashi arrived, and Kakashi was told by the Hokage to kind of change Naruto to actually be more sociable, because since he isolates himself from most people. He doesn't really want to talk to anyone. It's kind of bad for Naruto's mental health, and he's going to get worse if he keeps going. And Kakashi actually accepted and says, "All right, I'll try my best." And the Hokage thanks him. And anywho, after all of this, Kakashi takes them to the roof or something to just ask them what the goals and what the dreams are. Of course, Sakura's are the same, Sasuke's are the same, and Naruto then just says, "My goal is, to be honest, I don't have one. My dream, don't have one either." And the Kakashi was like, "Wait, whoa, not even a dream? Mad." He must be depressed. But anyway, of course, Kakashi was kind of interesting a bit more in Naruto, since Naruto really doesn't have anything that he wants to do or he wants to become, or like he wants something to happen, and he's kind of confused on why, since even his sensei had goals, his dreams, and Naruto has nothing, and he doesn't really care. Naruto just wants to be alone, and that's pretty much it. And anywho, he should have said it, but Naruto just doesn't want to tell anyone about what he likes doing and everything. And to be honest, alone time is a lot better with than spending time with bare people. To be honest, like I like spending my alone time. I just hate it when I see someone going to school alone, and I see someone I know and I have to walk with them. Like, I don't mind them. It's just so long. I just want to stay alone. Like, bro, let me be me in it. Let me listen to my music. Let me just be alone for a bit. Then we can talk in school, and that. It's just long when you have to talk to someone while going to school. Unless he's like your best friend, then or someone that understands. But anyway, of course, why did I say that? But anyway, of course, Naruto, who now went home, and he was told that tomorrow there will be an exam, and he doesn't really care. And the next morning he wakes up pretty late, and now, anyways, of course, the next morning Naruto wakes up late and heads off. Of course, his team was actually waiting there. Even Kakashi was waiting. He's like, oh. Naruto actually had breakfast because he didn't really care. And Kakashi says, "You're late," and Naruto's like, "I'm sure you just arrived too." And they go to the field, the training ground, and of course they begin the bell test. And here Naruto, who is pretty much alone, he doesn't even want to work with his team, and so what he does is that he makes a ton of clones, and they all attack Kakashi. Of course, Kakashi had a bit of a hard time against them, but their taijutsu was atrocious. But anyway, Naruto then got his swords out, and I'll say katanas instead of swords. He got his katanas out, and this was much harder for Kakashi, especially because he only had 2 kunais, and Naruto was more of a swordsman than a taijutsu specialist. And anywho, Naruto was actually able to put Kakashi on the edge, but then Kakashi actually used the Sharingan to actually escape Naruto's slices, and appear behind him. But Naruto was actually a substitution, and Kakashi's like, "Wait, what?" And Naruto actually came out from the ground and took one of the bells, and Naruto's pretty much done and says, "Well, I'll be going home now, bye." And he throws the bell back to Kakashi, and Kakashi says, "Where you going, Naruto? Stop right here." And Naruto's like, "You said to take the bell and you passed, right?" "I think I passed, haven't I?" And Kakashi's like, "Oh, I did, but really," in his mind, he's like, "I kind of fucked up. I told him that he has to get the bell, but the test was about teamwork, but he was able to get the bell without teamwork. How's that happened then?" And Kakashi shouldn't have this shouldn't have happened to Kakashi. Naruto was too good of a swordsman for Kakashi. He's like, "Wait, what?" And Kakashi wasn't expecting a Geni to be this good with swords, and in the end actually outsmart him to actually come underneath him to take the bells. And Naruto was barely able to get one. Kakashi was about to dodge, but Naruto was just too fast for Kakashi. Of course, he barely got it with literally the tip of his 2 fingers, and he was able to pull one out off of Kakashi. And Kakashi's like, "Alright, Team 7, come here." And Kakashi just tells them that they all pass, and Naruto's like, "Well, so this was all fake?" And Kakashi's like, "No, the test was actually meant to be about teamwork. I wasn't expecting one of you to be able to take the bells from me." But anywho, you'll be fighting as a team now. And there's no bells. I just want to see how good your teamwork is. And Naruto's like, oh, what a drag. Can I just go home? And Kakashi's like, no, Naruto, you have to work as a team. And Naruto's like, can I just go back to the academy then? And Kakashi's no, Naruto. And of course they begin the fight. And Naruto here was just standing back, and Kakashi was actually waiting for one of them to at least start the attack. And so Sakura actually got bored of it and said, alright, I'll begin then. Sakura got kinda annihilated, and Sasuke actually came in and did a fireball jutsu and started a bit of taijutsu while Naruto was just waiting for an opening. And as soon as you saw one, Naruto blitzed Kakashi with his body flicker, kicked him, kneed him in the face, and said, you really want to see our teamwork? And basically then Naruto backflipped out, and Sasuke actually did a fireball jutsu. Sasuke did this on a literally out of instincts. He realized that as soon as he heard Naruto say that, he needed to do something, and Kakashi had to protect himself. And Sakura got back up and actually tried to punch Kakashi. He barely did any damage, only because Kakashi got a bit burnt on that. Hurt a bit more. That's why he hurt a bit more. But anywho, then Sakura got blown away, and Naruto came in with his 3 swords again. And Kakashi was ready for this. This time he has his Sharingan activated from the very beginning. Well, not activated, like his Sharingan is showing. And just saying, he had to tell Team 7 how he got the Sharingan before they began. And then Naruto and Kakashi were going at it, and then Sasuke and Sakura came in to actually punch Kakashi, but then Kakashi was able to body flicker away, but Naruto wasn't going to let him get away, and so he body flickers and tries to scissor kick him. Oh, ow. I hurt myself. Shit. Naruto tried to scissor kick him like Goku did to Frieza. Sorry. And after this, Kakashi got kicked back, and and Sasuke did another fireball jutsu, which then Naruto actually increased with saying wind style wind turbine, sorry. And he created a turbine of wind, which actually amplified the strength of the fireball jutsu. And Kakashi and basically they did a tag team attack, and Naruto just had his hand out, and a turbine of wind arrived and appeared, and Kakashi realized that he needed to do something, and so he said earth style, great earthful, and literally protected himself. But then Naruto came in the way and kicked him towards Sakura, which Sakura then actually punched Kakashi right in the face. And Kakashi then actually stopped the fight because now he had to if they went any further, Kakashi would have had to try a bit harder, and he might have killed them. And Naruto actually was on guard because he realized that Kakashi was about to start trying. But then Kakashi says, well done, you will pass. Tomorrow we will begin missions, and your teammate is lacking quite a bit, but I guess it's not the worst. It's better than what I've seen in the past. But anyway, of course, the next day they actually begin the missions, and for the next month they do D-rank missions. And Naruto trains and continues training with the scrolls that the Hokage gave him. And Naruto hasn't talked to any of his teammates since the day of the exam or the bell test. And even Kakashi hasn't even talked to Kakashi. He literally just does the mission, goes home. He doesn't even give the report to the Hokage, and doesn't really care. And the Hokage even sees that Naruto only comes in to take the mission and never comes back to even give a report with his other 2 teammates and Kakashi. And Kakashi apologizes to the Hokage because he hasn't made any breakthroughs yet, and any the improvements with Naruto. And the Hokage says, I don't blame you. Naruto has always been alone for the past few years, and I guess it's my fault. If only I was there to protect the people who actually cared about Naruto. And Kakashi says, yes, if only I could have stopped those villagers. I even saw them before they went to kill those 2 shinobi. And Kakashi never really worked with those 2 shinobi, but he knew about them. They were pretty famous in the village by anywho. Now, of course, Naruto actually just finally mastered wind release. Not mastered, but got a few new wind release techniques. And also, he learned how to use lightning and water release. Of course, you can't really use earth release yet and fire release, but 3 of them are more than enough for him. And so he actually starts creating a new technique where he uses all 3 of his swords and adds wind release to them. Yes, he learned how to do that, and they become much sharper. But then it actually adds lightning release to them, which then they all turn blue, and lightning spurts out of them, and literally Naruto becomes a lot faster, like exponentially faster. And right before he hits them, before the fight actually begins, he always, if he's about to use this technique, before he begins the fight, he actually uses a water shockwave. Yes, Naruto has learned the water shockwave because the water shockwave was much easier to learn than the other two techniques that he learned, the lightning cloak and the wind, adding wind release to the weapons. For some reason, Naruto just found the other one easier because he takes more chakra for it. But anywho, yes, for some reason, Naruto is much quicker at learning things that take more chakra. For example, the Rasengan, the Shadow Clone Jutsu, when you could have learned the Clone Jutsu. But anywho, Naruto, of course, is pretty strong right now. Chunin level at the most, not Jonin level yet. Any Jonin could beat Naruto easily, especially high-ranking Jonins wouldn't even break a sweat against Naruto, because the gap between a Chunin and a Genin are massive, like massive. Like, you see the Demon Brothers to Kakashi, like Kakashi, like it's been stated, Kakashi was like Tsunade level, and Tsunade is a Sanin, so there is a massive difference. But Kakashi is at the top of the food chain with the guy, as in Jonin. So you could say it's kind of unfair putting someone like the Demon Brothers against Kakashi. But anyway, now Naruto, of course, heading to his next mission with heading towards the meeting place where the Team 7 meets up for their next mission. Sasuke is the one who actually complains about their low-ranking missions this time, and he asks the Hokage for a higher ranking mission. These missions are boring, and they can't really do anything, and then the Hokage asks Sakura how she feels about them, and Sakura says, "Oh, if Sasuke wants to do a C-rank mission, I'll do it." And then he asks Naruto, and Naruto then just ignores the Hokage, and basically the Hokage asks one more time, and Naruto's like, "Oh, me, don't really care. It's a drag, but if you give us a C-rank mission, I'll carry it out. It's fine." And Naruto only talks to the Hokage and the librarian pretty much. He's not really close to them, but he just talks to them. He doesn't want to get close to them because he doesn't want them to die or something. But of course, he's closer to the Hokage than the librarian, which will amplify Naruto's belief in the curse that he has. Of course, he doesn't have a curse. It's just ironic. But once the Hokage will die, it'll just amplify Naruto's belief in the curse, and it'll just break him even more. But that's why the Hokage is always keeping up with training in case he gets rusty. I know he's old, but still he wants to keep up his training in case someone like Orochimaru comes back, because he knows that Orochimaru one day will come back to destroy the village, and he already knows about this because it's Orochimaru. Orochimaru has a grudge against the village. Now, of course, Naruto and Team 7 will actually put on the next mission, and Tazano comes in, and Tazano actually makes fun of Naruto, which Naruto doesn't reply anything, and Sakura just starts laughing with Tazano, and Naruto just lets out a bit of his bloodlust, and Sakura can feel it, Tazano can feel it, pretty much everyone can feel it in the room, and it's pretty freaking heavy, especially because Naruto has been keeping all of this in, and then just let's go with bloodlust, and they're back to normal, and Sakura's sweating, same as Tazano, realizing how strong Naruto is, and so they just shut up, and the next morning Naruto actually heads to the village gates, and they head off. Of course, Naruto realizes that there's a puddle, but as soon as the Demon Brothers appear, it wasn't Sasuke who did the work, but Naruto actually threw 2 kunais with wind release added to them, which actually stabbed both of them in the shoulder, but they didn't really care. They kept going, and basically then Naruto said, "Lightning style, lightning cage," and basically as he says that, there's basically a lightning cage appeared. They were actually trapped in a lightning cage, and Naruto just had his 5 fingers spread out, but then he just made it into a fist, and basically they got electrocuted and they got paralyzed by Now, of course, then Kakashi ties them up to a tree with Sasuke, and Sakura was just baffled on how Naruto did this without any hand seals and without even getting close to them. Literally, they were pretty far apart, and Naruto was able to do this, and now the Demon Brothers got interrogated, and Kakashi asks them why who they were after, who sent them, and why. And basically the Demon Brothers say that they were after Tazuna, they were sent by Gato, and they were sent to kill him. And then Kakashi then tells them that they will have to return to the village, and Naruto then says, no, we're not returning to the village. The Hokage has given us this mission, trusting us. I will carry this out, even if it was my last mission. I don't care what you say. If you want to go back to the village with these two, you can. I'll take Tazuna to the land of waves. I'll finish this mission on my own if I have to. And then he starts walking forwards, and Kakashi just touches his shoulder, and Naruto just looks back with an apathetic look, and basically Kakashi then looks at Naruto and just gives a bit of his own bloodlust, and basically the two bloodlusts actually collide, and basically everyone there, even the demon brothers, could feel this, and basically Naruto's like, is that all? And basically Kakashi's like, you're returning to the village, and basically then Sasuke's like, come on, Kakashi Sensei, we should just do it. I mean, this brat doesn't want to stop whining. Let's just do it. And then Kakashi says, all right, then we'll continue. But if there is any higher ranking ninjas, or if I tell you not to get involved, not to engage, you will not engage, understood? And basically Naruto's like, you do you. And basically just keeps walking forwards, and they get a few hours a day of walking. They're actually in the land of waves right now, and they get engulfed. They're actually in a thick fog which they can't really see through, and basically Naruto actually feels something, and so he throws a kunai, and a rabbit comes out. Sakura starts shouting, and basically Naruto's are sharp already, and basically then they see a sword swinging at them, and basically Naruto actually creates a wall of wind, and literally the sword bounces off of it, and Zabuza catches it and says, interesting, and basically Naruto lets out wind gust, and basically he clicks his fingers and the wind gust appears, and the fog is fully gone, and basically Zabuza was clear. They could see Zabuza clearly, and basically Kakashi said, do not engage him. And basically then, Kakashi actually started the fight with Zabuza. Of course, they talked for a while, a bit of socializing, but anywho, now they actually begin the fight, and Naruto's just watching, and he doesn't even have his swords out. He's just watching. He's actually just pretty bored of the fight. But then Kakashi actually slips, which Naruto actually notices and actually raises an eyebrow. And right before Kakashi actually got, trapped in the water prison, both Naruto and Sasuke came in the way. Sasuke using a Fireball Jutsu, Naruto actually scissor kicking Zabuza into the Fireball Jutsu. Zabuza gets scorched, and Naruto helps Kakashi up, and tells him, you should be more careful, Kakashi Sensei. Anywho, recover. I know you're tired. I'll take him on. And Kakashi tries to hold Naruto back, and Naruto just uses a bit of lightning to electrocute Kakashi's hand, and basically Naruto's like, just leave the rest to me. Sasuke, get out of my way. And Sasuke could feel the Naruto actually getting serious, and Naruto with an apathetic look actually gets out two of his scrolls, and literally the two scrolls he opens the two scrolls, and two katanas appear. Naruto has these two katanas in both hands, and he's walking towards Zabuza and says any last words, and Zabuza just starts laughing and literally blitzes Naruto right before Naruto could even see. But then Naruto actually body flickers behind him, and Zabuza actually has an X on his back, and Naruto says, I told you. Any last words? And Zabuza was blood was gushing out with Zabuza's back, and then as Naruto was about to go for the the last two slashes, which would finish Zabuza off, a few Senbon appeared, and got thrown, and Zabuza was on the ground. Naruto checks if Zabuza's heart is beating, but then Haku appears, and Naruto sees that Zabuza is pretty much dead. Somehow Haku did that, and basically Haku apologizes, saying that I should have entered earlier. I'm actually a Anbu from the mist, and I've been searching for Zabuza. Thank you for making my life easier, and I'll be going now. And then disappears, and Naruto's like, some lying cunt. And I'm joking, he doesn't say that, but anyway, Kakashi sees how strong Naruto is, like how fast Naruto was, and Naruto body flickered against a Jonin rank shinobi, and literally sliced him behind his back, and Kakashi was impressed. But of course Zabuza could have stopped that if only he wasn't scorched, if only he wasn't a bit stunned by Naruto's kick, and also tired from the fight against Kakashi, and also low on chakra after using the water dragon jutsu and all those other jutsus. Anywho, after this, Zabuza takes Team 7 back to his place, and here Naruto actually needs to learn how to water walking, not tree walking, because he has a good chakra control, and tree walking is something he learned over time. And then Naruto actually begins his water walking training, while Team 7 actually begins to hit the other two members of Team 7 begin their tree walking. Naruto finishes it and goes into the forest, deeper into the forest, and Kakashi asks where he's going, and Naruto's like, Kakashi sensei, I'm going to tell you this one more time. If you get anywhere near me, if you get close to me, if we become close, you're going to die. I'm a curse. I haven't told many people this, but many people who actually enjoyed spending time with died. Even for just offering me food, they died. And people who actually loved me, they got killed, they got burnt alive. So please, I don't want you to die too. You're my sensei, but I don't really respect you much, because I just want you to survive. Please don't get anywhere near me, anywhere close to me, or I swear, this curse will kill you. This is just a warning. And I'm gone. And then he's gone, and basically, Kakashi just says, I'm a failure. And not only did he fail his master, his sensei Minato, because Naruto is Minato's son. Kakashi knows that perfectly, and Naruto is someone that he's the complete opposite of Minato. He doesn't smile, he doesn't have feelings. Minato was sympathetic, while Naruto is not sympathetic, and Naruto is the opposite of Minato right now. And he just doesn't seem to be Minato's son. Other than looks, he doesn't seem to be Minato's son. He's not optimistic like Minato. He's more pessimistic. But anywho, now of course Kakashi then actually makes a new goal for himself and says, I will make Naruto the person that he should be. And Naruto should be a kind-hearted kid, a happy-go-lucky kid basically, but of course he's not, because of all the things that happened to him. But anywho, now he goes back to training Team 7 and actually begins the training with Sasuke in the Chidori, because he actually realizes that Sasuke is actually a bit behind compared to Naruto. Same as Sakura, he actually teaches Sakura how to concentrate chakra in her punches and making her punches way stronger. But anyway, now of course Naruto trains his body to the limit, and he's resting, while then he actually notices Haku and he gets into a fighting position. But of course Haku just tells him that he's not here to fight, he's actually here for herbs. And they actually make friends, and Haku and Naruto kind of become friends, but at the same time Naruto just doesn't want to get close to Haku, because he doesn't want Haku to die. And then he doesn't want anyone to die unless their enemy. He doesn't want them to die. And Haku seemed like a kind guy, and Haku tells him that if he has a precious one, he'll become stronger to protect them. But Naruto then just replies by saying, what if you're cursed? What if the people who you cherish the most die because they know you, they're close to you? What would you do then? I want to know. And Haku then says, well, to be honest, I've never really experienced that, so I can't really give you a straight answer. And Naruto's like, of course you wouldn't experience it, you're not cursed. And then Naruto then gives his says farewell, and hopes that he has a nice life, and just leaves. And Haku was like, that one's weird. I guess he had one of those kind of childhoods, and a bad childhood, because Naruto did. But anyway, of course, now Team 7, the next morning Naruto actually wakes up late to hearing Inari and his mother screaming. But of course, Naruto actually still gave her, that Taku no Jutsu to Inari. He still has that power. But anyway, Naruto actually came out of nowhere and literally killed Gato's men, and told Inari and his mother to go to the village and quick, to the town or to the city, whatever. I'll say town or Tazuna's village, whatever. And anyway, now it's not actually Tazuna's village, he doesn't own it, but anyway, just making sure you don't get confused. But anyways, now Naruto heads off to the battlefield, and in the end him and Sasuke get trapped in the ice mirrors. And Naruto was actually able to break through the ice mirrors before Sasuke actually got impaled with Senbone, and the fight actually began. Haku was actually created 2 swords of ice, which were actually stronger than Naruto's swords, until Naruto actually added wind release to them and literally was breaking the ice. But of course Haku could actually regenerate, and then Sasuke actually came out of nowhere with the Fireball jutsu, but then Haku used the body flicker because he's way faster than Naruto. Yes, he's faster than Naruto, and he actually sent bones the hell out of Sasuke, especially because he awakened the Sharingan, and then Sasuke falls to the ground. Awakened the two-tome Sharingan. He already had the one-tome Sharingan because of the training with Kakashi. But anywho, Sakura came out and tried to punch Haku, but Haku was able to knock her out easily, and Naruto was pretty pissed off that Haku was able to do this right in front of him while Naruto was right there. He could have helped his team, but then while they were actually continuing their fight, Naruto was actually nearly able to break Haku's mask, but then they hear the sound of 1,000 birds, and basically Haku blitzes past Naruto and literally takes the blow, and Naruto, and this actually broke Haku's mask as well. Just the lightning hitting his body just broke the mask, and Naruto realized who he is, and basically Naruto just rushed towards him and asked why did he do this. And basically Naruto, Haku then says Zabuza's my precious one, and Naruto's like, God damn it, why did I talk to you last night? And he thought it was his fault, and basically Kakashi said, what happened, Naruto? And basically Naruto said, I met this one, we kind of made friends, he helped me, he talked to me. I guess I'm more of a curse than I thought I was. Look, even Sasuke and Sakura, they nearly died because of me. And basically, Naruto's he was having a mental breakdown at this point. Kakashi just dealt Naruto. It's fine. It's not his fault. And basically, Naruto widens his eyes and basically says, "No, don't do this. You'll just die." And basically, Kakashi says, I'll gladly die for my student." And basically, Naruto just starts crying, and basically, Zabuza says, "Stop it with the warm-hearted, the warm heart." I don't want to say it. Anyway, stop this nonsense. And basically, Haku, then Gato's men appeared, and Zabuza first actually badmouthed Haku, and Naruto got pretty pissed off with tears in his eyes, and talking to Zabuza, and basically in the end Zabuza was able to destroy all of Gato's men, and he gives that speech, "Oh, your words hurt more than any blade," and in the end died next to Haku, and Naruto actually buried them himself, and this was proof of his this battle was proof of his curse. And even though Kakashi tried to get close to Naruto, and Kakashi hasn't died, Kakashi was like the living example of Naruto's curse not being true, and so he kind of had hope, but at the same time he doesn't want to risk it. And so once they return to the village, Naruto just goes home. He doesn't want to talk to anyone, and then the next week he got called in by Kakashi. Team 7 actually met up, and Kakashi actually told them about the Chunin exams and how they're going to be starting in a week. They have a week to get ready, and if they want to participate or not, but they need to remember, if one of them doesn't participate, none of them can, because they need a 3-man team, and 3 people in one team. But anywho, now of course the next over this 1 week, Naruto continues his training and spends time in the library, doesn't talk to anyone, and actually heads off into a forest. It wasn't the forest of death, but it was actually a pretty dangerous forest as well, and he sees all types of beasts, and he kills them all one by one, and he has no mercy. And this was literally his training, ruthless training. And Naruto hasn't eaten in a week, in 6 days, and then when he gets home, he eats and then goes sleep, and then the next morning he had to go to the Chunin exam. So of course they actually arrived to see that they're in the Genjutsu, and Sakura released it, and then they went to the runes. Of course Naruto was able to pass easily. Naruto actually beat all the records that have ever been set by Minato, Itachi. Within seconds he was already finished. Naruto wrote so fast that his pen broke. I'm joking, but anyway, Naruto was able to finish it with no cheating and literally broke the records. And after all of this, Team 7 passes as per normal, and they head to the Forest of Death. The Forest of Death part of the exam, the second part of the Chunin exams, and that is where I'm going to end off. I hope you all enjoyed it. Please take care, stay safe. This was the King of Weaves there, and I know this wasn't even close to an hour, like 17 minutes off of an hour, but I want 3 parts for this wife, and I'm really enjoying this wife. And anyway, I hope you all enjoyed it. Please take care, stay safe. This was the King of Weaves there. Don't forget to subscribe to Retreat Miniman 123. Also, help out my friend Hamesh on YouTube. Follow Shokri on Instagram. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. And don't forget to subscribe to my second channel, The King of Noobs. Let's get to 1,000 subs with literally 2 videos. But anywho, also, if you want to join the Discord server, you want to talk to me, you want to just have some fun, you can join. All the links are in the description below. And don't forget to get your good quality anime merch from Beautiful Halo. Remember, Christmas is coming. Christmas sales are coming out. Christmas sales are about to be out, and they're probably already there, early Christmas deals. But anywho, if you want to get a gift for your, for a friend, for someone that someone that you like and they like anime, but anywho, you can get it from there. Use the code MEME, use my link, sign up with my link, and buy with my link so you can support the channel. And if you want 5% off on your next $49 plus order, you can use code MEME, MEME, and you get 5% off on your next $49. And with the same code, you can get 10% off if your order goes over $99 plus. $99 plus, that doesn't make sense. But anywho, my ducklings, you're dismissed. I am back. Today's this will come out. I'm recording this on the date where the Hugo Part 2 video is coming out. But anywho, hope you enjoyed it. Please stay safe. This was the King of Weaves, and peace.